My wife is living with her boyfriend and I want to stop paying alimony. We get this call more frequently than people would expect. In Florida, there is a statute that is instructive to what occurs in these types of situations. So it's basically, I call it, and I think it's routinely called the supportive relationship statute. So basically it deals with alimony in Florida. So if there's an alimony award by a judge or by agreement and court ordered, this is what you look at. It's Florida statutes 61.14. 61.14. So that's the statute that states and delineates the very, very, very specific circumstances and factors that need to be proven in order for a alimony amount to either be reduced or terminated. Okay? So notice what I said there. I didn't say just terminated. The terminator. Okay? So it's specifically stating reduce or terminate. And reduce is probably the more normal, I guess, situation, unless it's a complete termination because it's extraordinarily clear and the other side's needs are completely being met due to the supportive relationship. So reduction is a lot of times what the court is looking at because they're still looking at the analysis, that initial analysis that you went into during your original divorce of need. So the spouse's need, and again, this is interchangeable. This is for a former wife paying a former husband alimony or a former husband paying a former wife alimony. So this isn't just one way or the other, but this is a question that we get a lot, and sometimes it's there's a misnomer there that it's just going to be automatically terminated and that just immediately it's going to stop. So a lot of times in these support situations, nothing just immediately stops. So a lot of times it is something that still you need to take steps through the process. But one of the important parts that I really want to make extraordinarily clear in this video is it's reduce or terminate. It's not just terminate. Okay, so the case law is out there. It's stating that yes, there may be a supportive relationship. Somebody may be living in a supportive relationship, but it may not completely, obviate the need for alimony to be paid. So if it's $1,000 a month, but the need is being reduced by $500 because they're living with somebody, there's still a $500 need, and there still could be an alimony award if the court continues that on. So again, the operative word there in the statute is reduce or terminate, not just terminate. So just remember that. And then some other important parts the court looks at is, the length of the relationship, if they're holding themselves out to be a married couple. So let's say a situation that, somebody decided not to get married because they didn't want the permanent alimony to end, or they just weren't ready, but they're calling their boyfriend, their husband, or they're holding themselves out to the world, to other family members, to the children, to everybody, to the world itself, that they're together in a committed, quasi-marital relationship. So we're not talking about common law marriage or anything. We're just talking about they're basically stating to the world, we're together and we're basically, for all intents and purposes, married, even though we haven't tied the knot. So the court's going to look at that. If it's that type of a situation, the length of the relationship, if they're living in a permanent residence together. Sometimes we have seen very, very extensive plans made by parties to not appear as though that they are living with the person, and sometimes they're ready just for it to be done. Basically okay, you got me. Yeah, we're together. A lot of times in these situations, we see buyouts, buyouts of alimony for a portion of it, or proceeding forward with the litigation, and sometimes there's an agreement somewhere along the way, or it goes to a judge, and a judge has to make a decision to either reduce or terminate based upon that supportive relationship. So again, there's a lot of important parts of the statute. It's not just that oh well, she has a boyfriend, it needs to terminate like that. That's not the way that it works. The court's going to look at these other factors, such as pooling assets together. Did they buy a house together? Okay, so you go to the property appraiser's website. Both their names are popping up on the property appraiser's website. Okay, that could be a little bit of a sign, and kind of a helpful little nugget there for the judge to be able to use in their determination of how they're going to deal with it. But they're going to look at all the different factors. We're not going through all the factors in this video, or else I'd be here for probably an hour. But going through each one and all the different case law on it. But I'm just basically summarizing now to end the video. Is the courts have this ability there that it doesn't have to necessarily be remarriage, okay, but it needs to fall in to these different factors, and the court needs to look at these different factors and weigh whether or not this relationship is something that is considered to be a financially supportive relationship and is meeting the burden to reduce or terminate the alimony obligation.